going on. Teleport in from Zenset, but Antunes takes the Hex Gate into the team. Solar Flare finds 3, and now Dax is free hitting Bullet Time and finds so much damage as 3 members of TDE drop.
Chappie's now there on the box side as well. He's going to be able to push
Zenset
Ben.
Flashes in big cask, sends 3 into the team. Luru going to get out for now, but how do you kill the members of Baby? They are going to find P Sweezy, concentrating the damage there, and now Absolute Zero is going to crush Luru as full time comes out. Jaffe's not in the play. Andrew's trying to trade one back on the Ultrabox, but Bob Joseph in a world of hurt now as Luru is dishing out the damage. Locking Phil, he wants Solar Flare over the wall, force multiple summoner spells. Dax does end up finding Bob Joseph. Flash taunt from P Sweezy, but the knockup's going to miss. Flash bullet time from Ultrabox is massive, and from Luru finds Ultrabox.
They still don't want to walk into a choke point though, but
Bob Joseph forward, going to find a hook on Dax, but that's not who you want to hook. Dax is so tanky. Full time is going to force out Zonius from multiple fight damage. Re-engage.
Oh my god.
10 drops, but the troll falls, and that means Ultrabox is excited and does so much damage. Jaffe heroic entrance is in, but Task finds Antunes. Going to push them into the team. Dax taking solo. Bullet time goes out.
Oh my god,
and it does pick up Bob Joseph, but that's all the damage Luru's got. And now the Leaves is so tanky and impossible to kill. Ultravox cleans up the fight with a triple kill. We are back with game 2 of day 2 of semifinals, and with how exciting that first game was, I am so excited to get right back into things. How are you feeling, Lulu?
Well, Leader, I am likewise very excited. I'm very apprehensive to see what Baby does in response to this, and that is exactly what I wanted to see. They banned the first big problem, which was Mazuza's Victor. Get that off the board. Now 8-0. Let's not blemish or even consider his win rate at this point. Let's just take that off the table, put him on something else. And on the other side, TDE are going to respect the Trundle. They're going to say, yes, Dax, you had a pretty fantastic game on that. We still managed to pull it back. I mean, we've had a bit of a breather now. Let's just remind ourselves, that was such a close game that Baby definitely had moments. Just looking at those highlights, they could have could have closed it out. So they have to really, we do wonder a little bit what the mentals are like at the moment and whether they're able to hold it together, because I would be tilted for either of them, but I'm really hoping they can bounce back in this game too.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to be looking to do that. Rest of the bands are similar. We're going to have to see what TDE want to grab first off the board. Victor no longer available. Last time they went with Blitzcrank, and they are going to do it again. Bob Joseph,
wow.
3 in a row? Sinful.
Well, yeah, that's true, isn't it? That's really tarnishing his unique champions picked rate. Mr. Joseph, I understand that it's his semi-finals, but you're letting us down a little bit here with the with the similarities. But in response, the Nautilus is going to come through for Antunes. He's last game on the Leona, he was having a pretty good game setting up for Luru, but this time just needs a little bit more agency in that early game, or at least able to potentially just lock down a key target, which would be nice for them. And it is going to be Dax on that Jarvan. The Volley Bear hasn't actually been banned away, which is what, he's 100% on the Volley Bear, and often that got banned away from him after he showed such a tear on it. But he's looked great on this Jarvan as well, able to, snowball that early game the way Baby like to. And this time, they're hoping, I think, that they can build too much of a lead for TDE to come back from.
Absolutely. Now, Mazuza on the Kale in mid lane. This has been a pick that most teams did not let Mazuza have throughout all of the season, and now that Victor's the one off of the board, that's the champion that Mazuza's going to turn to carry this game. Now, a lot of options for P Sweezy to counter. Should note the Rek'Sai picked up for Leaves, very common champion for Leaves, and it looks like P Sweezy's going to opt into Ahri as that answer into the Kale.
Yes, and I do like that. That's putting a lot of pressure onto Mazuza early. This combination, the Jarvan Ahri, is a very dangerous one. And, the lockdown with the charm, with the CC once the Cataclysm's online as well to keep them in place. Mazuza is going to be camped for sure this game, because they do not want to let him get the same lead he did the previous game, especially on a champion that scales even better than Victor. So Leaves is definitely going to have his work cut out for him, potentially Bob Joseph as well, because we all know that we can see for sure that both Dax and Antunes, who does love his roams, are going to be up there in that mid lane making Mazuza's life hell.
Absolutely, and as we go into the second phase of bans, kind of a lot more of the same. TDE trying to take away critical picks from Jaffe. Meanwhile, Beat Boop looking to take away Ash from Ultravox, as well as that Clan that Zen's notorious for.
Yes, and now we have to see whether whether they save that last pick for Jaffe. No ADCs have been picked up yet necessarily, and there still are quite a few on the board. Jinx is available. Neither of these teams looking towards it at the moment. It did pay dividends eventually last game, and of course, both of these ADCs, let's remind ourselves, very, very proficient on that Jinx, but it is going to be the Ornn, and Baby is saying, look, if you pick the Jinx, we have an answer for it.
Yeah, Ornn is very tough to take down. Make sure that front line can last a lot of time into Jinx, so she can't get excited. Jinx is going to be the pickup for Ultravox. With that Ashe taken away, only makes sense now. Beat Boop looking to last pick their ADC, and I'm curious how exactly they're going to utilize this, because this is not something that you see teams do very often.
Yeah, it really isn't. But from the bans, there's a lot available. Zaya's available. MF is available yet again. That would be very interesting. We don't see that quite as often. In fact, if they want to go very aggressive early, it is going to be a Kai'Sa being picked up for Luru. I wonder, Warleader, if this is going to be the sort of the AP with the Manamune like Void Seeker spam Kai'Sa, or whether this is actually going to be full damage, because I wouldn't be surprised given they've already got some AP stacked in the mid lane.
Yeah, and we have to remember the nerfs that came through on the previous patch towards AP Kai'Sa. It's hard to say whether or not they're nerfs or they're nerfs to the style that Kai'Sa was being played, not necessarily nerfs to the build. And I haven't seen a lot of Kai'Sa since. And it's hard to say. They shifted that AP ratio to the execute, so we're gonna have to see if that's what Luru is going to go for at the end of the day. We might see Hail of Blades indicates to me that it's probably more of an Asher's Tooth kind of attack speed build, as TDE invading the bot side, TDE invading the top side, Baby stacking the bot side of their own jungle means this invade is going to go for free once again for TDE. They got it off last time. Baby counter stack. TDE predict the play from Baby, and they're going to have solid ward coverage in the enemy topside jungle.
It's going to be very, very nice for Leaves, because he's really going to want to track Dax, who is looking to be a menace early on this Jarvan. And that doesn't look like it's going to get spotted out as well. So, yeah, they're going to get full vision of Dax as he clears here from his red side down. It does look like he might be getting a little bit of a leash from Jaffe. So, Leaves, he's going to match it. And he will be trying to, I think, keep tabs, particularly look after his Kayle in the mid lane, as we mentioned in the draft. And just as we do get in, as I'm sure is going to see explosive action in the bot lane, particularly in not too long, as it does look like Luru and Antunes are going to stack a bush.
Yeah, looking for Bob Joseph to step just a little far forward. We're going to have to see if the hook wants to come out. Antu's going to grab that stun. Hook should follow. Luru has backed off, though, before the execute can land and has to flash away from Bob Joseph's hook. Miscommunication on the expectations from Baby bot lane. Burns a summoner spell early.
Yeah, and I think I honestly think TDE will be very happy with that. They get Luru's flash very early. Bob Joseph will be able to heal up with those potions anyway. So ultimately, it doesn't quite go the way that the Baby wanted, but it's understandable. They want to they want to force early because they've got that Hail of Blades, Kai'Sa, you mentioned. They do have a lot of burst damage early in those 2v2s. So I don't think they'll be persuaded from trying again once they hit that level 2 power spike.
Speaking of level 2, Jaffe finding a nice trend to Zen, going to be able to shield it up. Jaffe doesn't need to find too much in this lane on the Ornn. Might do it anyway, though. Jaffe's been unstoppable, as you can see right above his champion's head. Force in this top lane, and gonna have to see how this matchup plays out. I know both tanks want to farm, but I have to imagine we will be seeing kills on the top side. So far, both junglers have elected to take 3 camps. Now Jarvan is on the move. Rek'Sai trying to also path towards this bottom side of the map, but Dax has his eyes on mid lane and shutting down Mizusa's Kayle as early as possible. Here comes the gank. We're gonna have to see. Here comes the flag. Drag forces Kayle's flash. That's exactly how you want it to start. Dax can walk away, leaves in the bot lane. Going to flash forward, find a knockup onto Antunes. Traps fine Luru. Things are getting devastated. No flash for the AD carry in the bot lane. Luru's going to drop. Oh, first blood over to Ultravox on the Jinx. Leaves going to pick up that one on Antunes. And TDE have got things rolling in this early game.
Oh, they could not have asked for a better start, could they? After Luru burns that flash, it's right for the picking for Leaves, who comes and gets the double knock up, and that's gonna put already Ultravox a kill on the board on this Jinx once again, looking to start building himself, a massive carry potential. And Mezuzah, yes, he had to burn the flash, but Dax wasn't able to get much more of that, and now he's got the support of his top laner as well. So, oh my god.
Joseph flash forward, Hook finds P-Sweezy on the Ahri. He is going to be able to flash out, barely, from Zen's knock-up. Oh my goodness, what a play. And ultimately, trade of flashes from the support and the mid laner. TDE, once again, have to be happy with that.
They really do, and Bob Joseph, I think we can forgive him for this repeat performance on the Blitzcrank. As I said, slightly stifling his unique champions pick, but he's really making it count right now. Getting P-Sweezy's flash, that's going to put a lot of pressure onto him when Leaves works his way back around towards that mid lane, and particularly it's going to make him a little bit less threatening in setting up those ganks for Dax. So very, very nice for TDE already. They have built themselves up a little bit of a goal lead, and it's all the right places. As you did mention, actually, War Leader, quickly in this top side, Jaffe's got to be a little bit careful, if only because he's running the spellbook into the grasp. So he's going to have a bit down slightly on trades, but at the moment, doesn't look like that's stopping him.
No, not at all. Jaffe has picked up a CS lead for now, but I think Zen's going to get that back with this big minion wave. And it's going to be really good for Zen to get as much of that back as possible. Trading out of Jaffe, who takes a tower shot. Jaffe might be in trouble here. No, so much base damage on that Orin, and the Q is going to put off Zen for now. Jaffe wants to get really aggressive here. Burns that. Oh my goodness. Hook into the bot lane. Finds Bob Joseph, who has to retreat after Shock's burn on both supports, though. I mean, not too much damage is going through, but Bob Joseph might find a Hex Flash over this wall. We've seen him go for it time after time in the previous game, and Luru still vulnerable without that flash up. We're going to have to see if Blitzcrank is able to abuse that.
And this is tough, isn't it, for Baby, especially with Ultravox already having that item advantage there. They can't really walk up necessarily. Yes, Antunes has got a lot of sustain, all those potions and bickies, so they're not too worried about trading necessarily, but still they can't walk up in fear of, well, they also don't know where Leaves is, so they could see a repeat performance. They have to respect it.
Yeah, and Mezuzah, meanwhile, farming pretty nicely into the Ahri, not falling too far behind despite not being ranged yet. P-Sweezy not really abused, but a hook from Bob Joseph finds Antunes, but Luru and Dax are here, and a big hook from Antunes, long range, downtown, finds Ultravox, flag and drag not even needed from Jarvan. Kill does go over to Antunes Ignite, Leaves gonna arrive to the play oh so late, and they maybe are going to find one back.
Yeah, and whilst Antunes and Luru were respecting the jungler's presence, a little bit of an overextension there for Ultravox and Bob Joseph. Bob Joseph getting pretty hyphy with them hooks, and it does end up costing them a little bit. That's going to be a kill. Yes, it's onto Antunes. Again, no surprises there. They always end up on him somehow. But either way, that is going to neutralize that advantage that Ultravox and Bob Joseph were building, and it is going to allow a little bit of a respite for Luru as well.
Yeah, and man, we keep seeing these top laners trade so much, and I'm waiting for Jaffe to utilize that Ignite in the top side as Dragon. Started up by TDE. Maybe going to have to walk away from this one. They have no way to push into them right now. And that first Cloud Drake is going to go over to the side of TDE.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that, of course. Extra movement speed, etc. But it does look like in the mid lane, Sweezy, he doesn't have flash.
Not going to get caught out too early, though. Spirit Rush was available for the Ahri. Didn't have to burn it. Does have just enough mana to utilize that ultimate ability if Bob Joseph were to go forward. Not going to find too much for now. But it really needs to be Baby putting the pressure on the TDE's mid laner, not the other way around so far.
Exactly.
Zeus have been able to farm it out quite nice. Has a CS lead. Now being ranged, so much harder for Ahri to punish. Didn't get it done in the first 6 levels of the game.
Yeah, and he's got the TP available as well, and Zen once again.
Ulting forward, goes unstoppable. P-Sweezy, no mana for the Spirit Rush. Massive knockup, so much damage. Zen trying to flash out.
Oh, beautiful.
That Divine Judgment. Kale is going to keep Zen alive. And a critical kill picked up in the mid lane accelerates Kale even further.
And Zenzen's got TP as well, so Jaffe can't even get too much of that push. Fantastic roams, the second time. So much pressure Zenzen's putting down on Sweezy in the mid lane, and Mezuzah's building a lead on a Kayle. That's really not what you want to see if you're Babe, because once again, the opposing team have got the scaling advantage, and they're already pulling ahead.
Yeah, it gets really dangerous really fast for the side of Baby, and I know that they have Ornn and that Kai'Sa doesn't scale so bad, but Kayle, Sion, Jinx is a force to be reckoned with, and not one that Ahri can really match up to, so they need to find an advantage yesterday. I know it's just 9 minutes into the game, but Dax has to get more impactful on this map and has to do it right now.
Yeah, and Leaves. We've talked about how we've got contending, players on particularly on the side of TDE. Leaves really is trying to show here. Oh my god, Bob Joseph.
Bob Joseph has a massive hook on a P-Sweezy, going to burn out that Spirit Rush. Critical cooldown means Leaves going to be happy to try and find P-Sweezy again in the mid lane. Accelerate Mezuzah has proven to be a force in this series.
Yeah, and Sweezy does have his flash available once again, but with that Spirit Rush gone down, Mezuzah can be even more comfortable getting a push in. Potentially get himself off another little roam. Just go up there, try to put some offensive vision up there on the top side of Baby's jungle. And Leaves is hovering in the bot side as well, so we could see a potential 3v3 in just a second. Has Dax been seen?
No, not seen. Answer's going forward. Bob Joseph is popped. Leaves is in the play, but Cataclysm is out, and now Answer's in for a way in, but Leaves does so much damage. Luru, Killer Instinct is going to find Leaves. Ultravox going to get out safely. 2 kills for 1 over the side of Baby.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Baby needed. Luru gets 2 kills on the board. He's going to be working towards that mythic soon enough, and it doesn't look like it might just be a standard AD crit Kai'Sa. As you mentioned, War Leader, the AP build has been nerfed, and maybe they are just saying, look, we need full damage, particularly with this comp. So that's exactly what they needed. As I said, he's going to get back. He's going to build up more of that damage. That's also going to just force a little bit of a push, but allow them to get some resets off in time to get back in time for the second Drake that's spawning in a minute or so's time with those item advantages. And Dax there, even though, he does go down, those are the kind of proactive plays that we do need to see from him, as you said.
Antunes finding a correct play of his own. Death charge out on Bob Joseph means not long for this world. Trying to give the kill over to P-Sweezy. Kayle going to keep Bob Joseph alive for just a little longer, but it means nothing. P-Sweezy getting one back, finally. Not onto the Kayle, but onto someone, thank goodness. And it means P-Sweezy has a little bit of breathing room in the matchup. Finally, Antunes gets on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, TDE, this is the moment where they have to really be careful, isn't it? Because they've just given over a couple of critical mistakes. That is going to allow Baby to go and set their sights on this first Herald of the game. So they're starting to build back some advantages after those early plays going in TDE's favor. So even though we said, and Leaves isn't going to let up, though.
Oh, Leaves looking forward on to Antunes, going to force out the Nautilus' flash. Not too big of a deal, but Antunes did not opt into Hex Flash this game, so more of a downside than he'd hoped. Oh, but the hook from Bob Joseph punishes immediately, finding Antunes Super Mega Death Rocket, picking it up for Ultravox. My goodness, Bob Joseph.
I don't know what happened there. Antunes got punished for his hubris a little bit, but he stood still, got hit by the zap that he wasn't expecting maybe, and that's just a free picking for Bob Joseph. Even though that previous play didn't work quite as they'd intended under the tower, giving Luru a couple of kills, they still have to be a bit wary, and that's just going to put more kills in Ultravox's pocket, and that's not where Baby want them to be.
Yeah, things looking quite dire for Baby right now. The Kayle is 110 CS, nearly 10 CS a minute so far in this game, and it's so devastating. The Kayle is just going to be a monster. Jinx is 3-1 as well. Jaffe calling in the Ornn, looking for Sion. Dax not quite able to stop the ultimate coming out from Sion. And, TDE is just going to pick up the Ocean Drake. Missed opportunity on the top side. Going to drop the Herald down, trade some gold back.
They're really going to force this, huh?
Yeah, they have to try. They know TDE is on the bottom side of the map. They know Blitzcrank and Rek'Sai are roaming around there. 2 plates over to Dax and Jaffe, but hard to say it's worth it. Gold lead barely evened up.
Well, there's only a minute or so left on plates, so at least it is a little bit more gold in Dax and Jaffe's pockets, as you said. But ultimately, again, TD happy. God, Joseph's, he's so scary, man. It's so scary. Anyway, he's going to be stopping our hearts every few seconds, so I'll just have to keep going. TDE, again, get what they wanted out of that play. They pick themselves up the Drake, and as you said, Mezuzah is farming up an absolute storm on this Kale. He's almost got his Nash's Tooth online already. And we haven't seen a team fight yet, just a little bit of skirmishing, the closest being a couple of 3v3s in the bot side. But at the moment, Baby, it's getting a little bit... So Luru and Sweezy are going to have to do so much in these fights because the opposing carries are considerably far ahead. Mythics are starting to come online. Leaves is big as well, and he's going to be able to potentially one-shot Luru. Should he be left alone for just a moment. So it is a little bit, it's a worrisome one for sure if you're Baby right now, but they still have an angle in this because particularly once their mythics start to come online, and there they go, that they might actually be able to play these fights out the way they want.
Yeah, now, all of the laners have gotten their mythics online from the side of Baby, and this might be a power spike they really want to abuse, but unfortunately, there's no big objective to force TDE to fight over right now. TDE might just be able to play it slow if they recognize the enemy team's power spike, and just ride it out, let your Kale scale up, let your Jinx scale up, don't let Ahri use that Everfrost to good effect, and I know there's ornaments coming through, but I think it's not so much in the face of the immense scaling threat of Kale, who's almost reached level 11.
Yeah, she has, and she's only going to get worse and worse once she has her mythic completed as well. Mezuzah's probably got that on his base right here. And we've got a Drake spawning in about 3 minutes' time, which it's already, looking to be a potential soul point for TDE. An Infernal Soul as well, might add, which we hadn't mentioned before, but that's even more devastating. Now the Nash's Tooth, not the Mythic, excuse me, is now online, but the Kale and the Jinx between them with an Infernal Soul, that's not a prospect the Baby want to fight into. Not even an Ornn can deal with that. And Baby, I mean, how can they work this in these fights? Their bot lane is still strong, even though the opposing bot lane is strong as well, and it does look like it might be another potential 3v3 going down here. I'm not sure. I'm just waiting for Sue gets the hook.
Yeah, Leaves and Bob Joseph waiting over the wall. Dax is also here, not seen yet. Bob Joseph on vision. Advantage does not quite find. Well, Bob Joseph counterhook. There it is. And this is the opportunity for both junglers to get in there. Here comes Leaves. Here comes Dax. But Mezuzah's here at the play too long before P-Sweezy leaves. Gets deleted. But Mezuzah's here though, and Antunes is already dropping. So much damage coming out from Kale. P-Sweezy waits the play, but has a chance to get a turnaround. Big hook for Bob Joseph. We'll find Dax. Charms goes wide. Blitzcrank will fall. P-Sweezy looking for Ultravox, but the Everfrost goes wide, and Lure's now in trouble. Mezuzah finding so much. Shutdown for Jinx. Flash forward from Ultravox. The charm, though! Big from P-Sweezy, and that reset is going to keep them alive just barely. Oh, 2 for 3 going over to Baby. It's going kind of well for them. They mitigate the play in bot lane. P-Sweezy arrives to the play. Sorry, just 3 for 3. Oh, just in time. It's hard to say that you've done damage to the scaling threat, but you stopped it from getting worse.
You did. A lot of kill. I was about to say that it's really the bot mid of TDE that are just carrying these fights with the damage, and they are coming up once again. And Sweezy does manage to save that hero player under the turret to take down Ultravox, because that could have been oh so worse. But nevertheless, TDE, they are still accelerating their Kale and Jinx, and Dax is really struggling actually. He did manage to get the Cataclysm in to tie up Mezuzah for a moment, but not much more than that. And I mean, I'm not sure what to say. I agree with you, War Leader. It's looking really rough, but can they make a play happen here?
They're trying to, but the Ornn misses the charge back, and Jaffe, though, oh, the brutal proc does just enough. Will Dax be able to stop Zenson from killing Jaffe? Jaffe just barely able to get away, and they will find Ornn in the top side. Dax finally getting some pressure. Someone responding in the top side, and hopefully that will accelerate Jaffe towards getting these items online. Bob Joseph going forward, looking for the hook. Teleport is in for Mezuzah. Antunes is hooked up. Flash will find nothing. Mezuzah has slain Antunes. And Dax now in trouble. Bob Joseph wants more on vision. Zap barely avoided by Dax. Cooldown for the hook's not up yet. Charm from P-Sweezy goes wide. And things are going to settle down, though. Teleport in, though, is TDE want to secure that this Infernal Drake setup for Infernal Soul. Bob Joseph finds a hook on it. Dax has to flash out immediately. So much pressure coming out from this Blitzcrank, and Baby have no answers.
They don't know, and just a little bit of overconfidence there, I think, from Baby's bot lane there. After that play did go well for them in the top side, Zen getting taken down, but they get caught out under turret, and another hook, oh my god!
Dax is in a lot of trouble. Stopwatch burn, but Leaves is there with the knockup, and Dax will fall. Drake falls also. Infernal Soul point procured for the side of TDE, and with the way their composition scales, it's hard to say things are going to get better for Baby anytime soon.
God, Mizuza just needs to buy another Medjai's, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Like he's 4-0-2. He's only going to get scarier as the game goes on, as we know. And as you said, Soul Point gets picked up for the side of TDE. They're going to set them sights on the Herald as well. What can Baby do to respond? They'll maybe get a little bit of a push in the mid lane, but with their jungler dead, they just have to watch here unless Antunes can make some magic happen in Sweezy.
It's going to be really tough, though. There are 3 members of Baby here, but Ultravox and Bob Joseph in the mid lane. Antunes might be in trouble. Oh my goodness, the hook barely doesn't find Antunes. So close to a 5th death on the Nautilus. Oh my goodness, there's no letting up.
Bob, I could talk all day about how much chat support Bob Joseph is, but I'm glad I'm not playing against him. That's all I'm saying, because I would be scared out of my mind just to go anywhere near unwarded territory at this point. But either way, yes, the Herald does get dissuaded. Good play from Baby there to hold time for Dax to get back into the fight. But it's still, they're going to have to make a play happen. And yes, they are starting to, the Kaiser is working towards that collector soon enough. And Sweezy is still relatively strong, but he's just not a 4-0 KO with 2 items at less than 20 minutes. Like, it can't be, we're saying this a lot, but it can't be overstated how scary TTE's bot mid are right now.
Yeah, Kale farming at 10 CS per minute, clearly uninterrupted by the side of Baby so far. Arriving safely at that Rift Maker is such a threat. And it's hard if you're the side of Team Baby. What is your angle to win this game? It's so tough, but it has to start with picking up that 550 gold shutdown onto the Kale. And, the time is now. The time was yesterday to pick up that first kill onto Mizuza's Kale, who's been such a threat in this series. And,
yeah, I know. I know, Wally. It's a tough one because you can imagine being Baby right now, and it really is a mental will as, hang on.
Antunes is getting caught out again. Leaves finds the knockup. Antunes will drop. Death Charge comes out for not. Let's see what I get there. And that being said,
very good.
Another pick over to TDE. And things just don't get easier. Zen finding so much damage in the top lane tower.
Yeah, and they've got full control of the mid lane push as well. They can start setting their sights on this mid tier 1 Herald or not. Of course, the Herald's gone now. The Baron is on the cards, but once again, TD don't need to set their sights on any sort of flip like that. They've got 2 minutes until their soul. They've got push in 2 lanes at least now with Mizuza, this monstrous KO, now being able to go and push to side lane very effectively. Sweezy can't really match her at this point. It's hard. It's hard if you're Baby right now because you're already 1-0 down. You really don't want to go 2-0 down in a best-of-5 series, and especially not in a fashion like this. But they haven't been able to make a play happen realistically yet, but I think maybe just at the soul that's coming up in 1 minute, 20 seconds time, they just have to go for a big old burger flip. Maybe it'll land on their side, but I would just love to see it happen because at the moment they are slowly bleeding out.
At the moment, Baby are positioned towards topside, maybe Baron, but Vision for now is just being cleared out. Jaffe will finally pick up the top lane outer tower, but Leaves and Bob Joseph are here. Dax barely going to get their way out of the line of sight of Bob Joseph. Not going to get hooked for now. Things are so dangerous.
Yeah, and a little bit of posturing, as you said, will lead around that top side, not wanting to give away the Baron just because of Soul, but the Soul's coming up. And after that play, Baby are forced back. They have managed to get some recalls off just in time. Dax managed to pick up a GA. in time to go in on this fight and give his life twice even just to try to make something happen. Stay alive, maybe get the smite steal. And that may be the angle because Vision's getting cleared out as well. Mezuzah's is working away on this mid lane turret. Bob Joseph once again has control of choke points, and that's a very scary prospect. So what's the angle here for Baby? Because Soul's about to come up.
Well, Jaffe's going to have to find a massive Ornn ultimate. I think that's how it has to start, and it has to land on Mezuzah. But Jaffe can't get hooked right now. Bob Joseph going slightly wide. Baby have managed to reestablish control of the Dragon Pit, or this bottom side river for now. Bob Joseph, though, is looking forward, wants to get things started, trying to look for Dax. Is going to find Dax, who tries to find their way in. Ornn is called, but Dax has already fallen once. Bob Joseph, though, getting chunked out, and the respawn from Dax, nothing doing. Going to fall instantly, and now on the retreat, Andrews finds their way in. Luru tries to find a Killer Instinct, trying to find Ultravox, who will fall, but Luru gets chunked so much, and Mezuzah is still at full health. No damage taken on this Kale yet, and so much damage ready to be pumped out. Jaffe and P-Sweezy walking away for now, but the Soul's still up. The Jungler for the side of TDE still up. P-Sweezy and Jaffe have to find some kind of way onto the Dragon, but not going to happen. They're going to channel their recalls, Infernal Soul, over to TDE, and that's... I mean, the game's not over, but the game's over.
Time and again, when we see these fights between TDE and Baby, it goes exactly the same way. Bob Joseph gets a hook, someone dies, Mezuzah's allowed to freely hit damage for the entirety of the fight because he's playing around the fight so well with his range, and eventually Baby just get whittled down. By the end, Zenzen is goalkeeping against two members!
Oh my goodness, Bob Joseph finds another. Dax will fall again, and that's going to be Baron, almost certainly going over to the side of TDE. Very little from the side of Baby can stop them in this endeavor, and things are certainly going to get worse before they would ever get better for the side of Baby, as Game 2 falling out of reach.
It is. It doesn't look like there's anything on the cards for steal. Bob Joseph is goalkeeping at the moment.
Oh, but trying to find a pick onto Bob Joseph. The pick is found, and now leaves in the middle of the fight, going to knock out Luru. That's Killer Instinct out, but so much damage coming out from Sion. Oh my goodness, leaves one-shots the Kaisa. Jaffe, not long for this world. P-Sweezy has to dash away. Dax respawning in Fountain going, oh, what happened? My screen was gray that entire time. Gold lead extends to 6,000 now. Baron, Infernal Soul, both massive buffs in the hands of TDE, as they're going to look to end this one as soon as they can.
Well, let's see. I'm going to overdose on Copium, as I often do, War Leader, and say that I don't think this is the end of the game necessarily. The respawn timers aren't quite long enough. It might be an in here, but no more than that, because Sweezy can still dish out damage. I don't know. It looks like they might be going for it here, but if they go for any more than an inhib, yeah. I mean, I think that's about as much as they wanted. They don't need to give over any more. They can take their time. They're chilling. They overscale. Again, it's just all going TDE's way, as you said, War Leader. But let's think what Baby can do here. There's an Elder coming up in 4 minutes' time. There's the potential, for a burger flip. That's all I'm saying. If they can stall out long enough. It's even harder now because the side lane is now entirely the property of this Kale. And it's going to be very, very difficult for them to match her. She's got a blue buff as well now. But if Baby can hold out, maybe just a little bit longer, let's just see if they've got an angle for a burger flip. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want out of this game at this point. Yeah,
that's kind of all that Baby can look for at this point. TDE just gonna get hungry for more picks, get hungry for more jungle camps. They have full ownership of this bot lane. No one's there to contest it. All of Baby are marching over to try and pick Mezuzah, but the vision is there. The play is for nothing. Ultravox easily uncontested, picking up this inner tower off bot lane. Baron buff still ticking for just a little bit longer. TDE sieging. Baby trying to find a play onto the solo Kale, but Kale falling off the map means that there's no play to be had, although hook onto Bob Joseph gets deleted. Dax deleted quite the same, but now there's an angle maybe as Luru finds a kill onto Ultravox. Zenzen going forward, going to get dropped. Now they're going to find Leaves, but Mezuzah is still here and still big. The
oh my god, wait a minute.
for the side of TDE. Can they 1v3? Peace Music goes forward, finds a charm, and a lot of damage going on into Mazuza, and there it is! The shutdown over to Luru! Luru and Peace Music come up big in the fight, and they negate the siege. Massive gold shutdowns coming in on those carries. What can they do with it?
That was basically a penno, wasn't it? Close enough. Like, Luru has just gone from being a 2-item dangerous Kaiser. How much gold did he just get? That's a lot of gold. Either way, that's exactly what we were waiting for, something to happen for Baby to get back into this game. I think they might have just gone back into this game, War Leader. That's a lot that TDE just gave over.
Yeah, and Orin is going to recall now. If Orin hits that level 16, going to be able to upgrade the Kraken Slayer on Kaisa. So there's room. There is room for Baby to grow and get strong and contest something. For now, the only thing they contested is the second inhibitor, but it's a win for Baby, not one we expected them to get. And now Bob Joseph is going forward, looking for Dax, who might be a little too far forward. The Fed members of the side of Baby are not here, not quite going to be able to find that pick so far. And gonna have to go back to just collecting waves in mid, but that's kind of what Baby wants to do right now. But Hook finds Dax, leaves over the wall, but Dax is taking it forward. Call the Forge God, will find two. Ultravox now gets one shot with the Killer Instinct. We were now in trouble from Leaves, flashes away, but Leaves is going to drop, and that is 3 for... Oh no, Leaves not quite dropping. He's using flash forward, will secure triple kill for the side of Luru, and a charm on the Zenzen, not going to mean too much, but Elder Dragon's not that far off from spawning, and it won't necessarily secure them, that Elder Drake, but it will secure them a lot of vision to set up for it, and maybe these ornaments are a lot more powerful than I'm giving them credit for, because it's caused Luru and Peace Squeezy to go on a tear in the last few fights.
Luru is playing these fights so well. In particular, he gets into the back line and just deletes Ultravox, taking out their one of their key damage members. And Mazuza, he has to pull back, and between, as you said, Peasweezy and Luru, they deal out so much damage. Dax also, hero play there, goes in, gives his GA life very happily to set up a play for his carries. And Baby, now they are starting to turn this around. They're still a little bit behind on gold, but they do have a little bit of advantage on this Elder now. But it does look like it's going to be another potential 5v5 as all the members of TD are back up and they're trying to retake control of the river.
Jaffe, nice unstoppable on Bob Joseph's Hook, will deny an initial engage. We're going to have to watch Luru in this one. They've been making the magic happen so far, but Mazuza, level 16 on the Kale, such a massive threat. And it's going to be those two threats that are going to square off. Now, the Elder Drake is started up by the side of Baby. Luru and Peace looking for angles to play, while Zenzen's just charging straight forward ahead. No worries. Mazuza on the side looking for an angle. Peace Squeezy maybe doesn't know where they are, but they're going to find it out. Call the Forge God, Catapults to find 3! Call the Forge God finds 3. Luru immediately executes Ultravox. Mazuza, though, so big, and the Hook will find Luru, and that is going to pop. The Guardian Angel, Peace Squeezy taking so low. Antunes will drop Mazuza untouched. Luru will fall, and that is TDE's fight for the taking. They take it 1-5. Quite clean. Horn almost turns it. Pentakill for Mazuza on the Kale. And take away the Victor. No problem there. Go over to the tried and true classic for them. It's the Kale. Something that's been banned all season. And yeah, TD are going to take this one.
Someone's going to stop this mid laner. We talked already, War Leader, about how the mid lane could be the decisive role in this series. I think we might be seeing it happen before our eyes, because Mazuza is I don't know what, I'm lost for words, Wally, what he's doing to these poor Baby members, but he's pentering on them. He's destroying on whatever he's given. I think they're going to have to ban both. We're starting to build up a ban list against TDE, and they all have Mazuza's name on it. So, Baby, the thing is, once again, they had an angle there, at least for a moment. Luru doing so much damage, P-Sweezy actually making those fights happen, but in the end, TDE just once again looking too clean, controlling the game pretty much aside from that overdrive of the turret from start to finish. What can Baby do to respond? That's my question.
It's so hard when you're down 0-2 in a set like this. And it's been dominating and scaling from the side of TDE, and maybe you have to try and outscale them, but in order to see what Baby is going to do, it does mean we're going to have to go to a break. in order for these teams to get their strategy together and get ready for one final game. Potentially for TDE if they want to seal this series. Baby, on the other hand, looking to have to clean reverse sweep if they want to take this one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the conclusion of the series.
Staying in tonight and I'm all alone. Feeling okay, then you hit my phone. Saying, babe, wanna meet up? I'm in the club, but I'm done now. Can I come up? Saying, of course you can come by. I don't know why, but you're sunshine. Oh, you're alright. Oh, you're alright. I'm gonna shut my mouth when you say what's on your mind. I can see the pain in your eyes. First I'm left, then I'm right. Don't know how to keep my calm. Baby, don't you tell your lies. Let me say thank you for all this time, babe. I've been loving every time I could call you mine. I don't know why I'm being the one feeling stupid. I'm feeling stupid now. No. So now it's time for the goodbyes. Everything dies for the sunrise. Oh, you're alive. It's time for the goodbyes. Everything dies for the sunrise. Oh, you're alive. Oh, you're alive. I'm gonna shut my sunrise over light.